What's up, guys? Nick with Overage Syndicate, and we're continuing our series. I believe this is video number 3 of our 6-part series, continuing talking about the overage profitability formula. And this is where we contact leads. This is where we're actually reaching out to people, and this step is probably the most crucial because this is where winners are determined in this business, is on this step. Excuse me, I'm going to get a drink real quick. So, contacting leads. If you missed out step 2, go back and watch that video first. But contacting leads, again, is where the rubber meets the road. Now that we've gotten our leads, last step we conducted our research, we did our skip tracing. Now it's time to actually reach out to these folks and get a hold of them. There's multiple ways we do this. There's multiple ways I've done it. We do it via phone calls, text messaging, emails, letters, reaching out on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, even talking to relatives or neighbors or associates of the claimant. Basically, you have to have the attitude that you're not going to stop until you find the person you're looking for in order to succeed in this step. This is where I see new people struggle the most, is on this step of contacting people. Why is that? Well, it's not a natural skill that comes for the majority of us. Reaching out to people on the phone or text, reaching out to just strangers and offering services, that's a hard thing. It can cause a lot of stress and anxiety, especially if you're someone like me. I am naturally an introverted person. I do not like to initiate conversations with people I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable. That's the reality of the situation. This was something that was hard for me getting in this business. This is probably the part of the business that I enjoy the least, but it's one of the most important steps, is contacting leads. Because again, if people don't know who you are and how you can help them, then you can't succeed in this business, or any business for that matter. Going back to here's the thing, guys. It's uncomfortable reaching out to people you don't know. And the truth is, if you're starting out in this business and you're new, you are going to be uncomfortable. Why? Because you're learning and you're doing things you've never done before. And whenever you do something you've never done before, obviously that brings a level of discomfort. The good news is that discomfort, if you endure it long enough, it brings growth and it brings new realities. So that's the good news. And there are some ways as well that can help you kind of mitigate that discomfort and help you push through it. And I'm going to talk about how you can do that, especially with this step, in just a couple minutes. But I want to talk a little bit more about this being uncomfortable. It's so crucial that you're okay with the fact that you're going to be uncomfortable. Let me share with you a few things about my journey. Many of you probably know this, some of you don't. But I'll share it anyway. I was uncomfortable quitting my job and going into real estate full time. There were no guarantees that I would make it. That was very uncomfortable. Leaving that security of a paycheck every two weeks for the uncertainty of not knowing when I would get paid. And I didn't get paid for several months. It was uncomfortable for me to sell me and my wife's first house and move into the basement of my in-laws so that I could start this business and we could lower our expenses as much as possible. I'll show you this picture. It was uncomfortable for me to work out of a closet the first year I was in this business in my in-laws' basement. Like, as much as I hate saying that, that's the truth. That's where I lived. That's where I worked the first full year I was in this business. I was uncomfortable ending my military career with the Army National Guard and giving up the opportunity to become a pilot, a helicopter pilot. That was uncomfortable. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable and make sacrifices if you're going to succeed in this business or in any other venture that you have in your life. So just remember that, okay? Here's one thing I can tell you. All this uncomfort or discomfort, all of that pain, embarrassment, shame, whatever you want to call it, the results and the new realities that transpired because of that discomfort are 100% worth it. At least they were for me. So I can tell you that it is worth the discomfort, the new reality that you can create for your life, the new income, the new control of your time that you'll have, the new opportunities and options and choices you'll have are worth the discomfort and the sacrifice you'll make today. At least it was for me. I can only share my experience, but that has been my experience. So at the end of the day, you just have to make a choice. Are you willing to be uncomfortable? Are you willing to push through your fears to get what you want in life? If the answer to that question is no, one, you probably shouldn't venture any more into this business. And two, if you're not willing to be uncomfortable, get over your fears, try new things, try new knowledge, invest in yourself. If you're not willing to do those things, you just have to be okay with where you're at today. You have to be okay with your current situation. You have to be okay with the current problems you're facing. You have to be okay with your current income, your current business, your current job, your current lifestyle, your current possessions, whatever it is, whatever your reality is now, you have to be okay with it 100%. Because if you're not willing, again, to do that what's required to create something new, then you just have to be okay with what you have now. Because you can't create change by doing the same things you've always done. Okay? All right. Enough about that. What are some ways you can mitigate the discomfort? How can you overcome your fear of, maybe contacting people, calling them on the phone? Something that I like to do, I like to use a script. Now, I don't read it word for word, but I have a script that guides me, and it helps me know where I'm at and what I need to say. And it helps me ease my anxiety, overcome fears. And it's something that helps me and helped me greatly, especially in the beginning, be able to move forward and push through my fear. And it didn't make it as bad. I had a tool that helped me overcome my fear and help me to, I don't know, sound like I actually, it helped me sound, I wouldn't say professional, but I mean, it helped me not stumble as much. It helped me not sound like I was an idiot, if that makes sense. Okay, it's a tool, a script. Okay, so I definitely, when you're making calls, use a script, especially in the beginning. There's no shame in that. Many sales professionals use scripts. Okay, now you don't read it word for word, but it's there as a guide. It's to help guide you and to lower your discomfort and your anxiety of talking with people on the phone. Okay. I also have sample voicemails that I would use, sample text messages. I would just have a text message, like a generic text message or a voicemail, and then I'd personalize it a little bit and then send it out to people. Same with letters. I have, generic letters that then I was able to edit and personalize and then send to people. And so I have these tools that help me, um, you know, accomplish this step of contacting folks. Okay, so I have my script, my letters, my voicemails, all of that. And there's examples. You can download all of these inside my course at school.overagecourse.com. Okay, if you want. So use tools to help you. And again, the more ways you can contact people, the better. So I would call someone, didn't get a hold of them, I'd send them a text. And if no one answered, always leave a voicemail. And then if I didn't hear back in a couple days, I'd send a letter. Try to reach out to them via Facebook, LinkedIn. The more ways you can contact people, the greater likelihood you're going to have a conversation with them, and that's going to lead to more deals down the road, okay? So this step it's crucial. It really is where the rubber meets the road, okay? Let's talk real quick about key performance indicators, or KPIs. These are three metrics that you can use to measure your success in this business and determine your profitability, okay? Number one is number of conversations you have. Number two is number of contracts sent out. And number three is number of contracts signed, okay? Those are the three main things you really need to focus on to measure your success and ultimately measure how much you're going to get paid at the end of the day. Because obviously, the more conversations you have, the more contracts you're going to send out. The more contracts you send out, the more you're going to get signed. The more signed contracts you get, the more deals you're going to do. And obviously, the more deals you do, the more checks you receive, okay? It's simple. Those are the metrics that I've used, okay? However, it all starts with that one conversation. And so this is why this step is so important, okay? One other tip, do not make the mistake of getting a bunch of leads and never contacting them. I see this happen too many times. It happened to me when I was getting started. I got a bunch of leads and I had so many leads that I didn't know what to do with them and I never contacted them. It sounds dumb, but I've seen it happen a lot, especially with newbies. You get so excited generating leads and researching that you never get to this step. So don't do that, okay? If you have 10 or 20 leads, you have enough to get started. Work those 10 or 20 leads, work them really good, and then move on and go get some more. That's my suggestion, okay? Again, guys, this is the step that separates the players from the spectators, okay? The two steps before this are important, and we can't do this business without them. But everything up to this point, you're still just a spectator. You're not in the game. Creating leads and doing research doesn't mean you're in the game. It just means you're leading up to that. You're practicing, okay? You're leading up to the point where you actually made contact. Once you make contact and you start calling people, then you're in the game. Then you're in the business, okay? But until that, you're just a spectator. So, hopefully this video helps you. In the next one, we're going to talk about how to get people to agree to your services. What is the type of paperwork you should send? So this is a crucial step, and that we're getting closer to, closing our first deal now. We've talked about 3 out of the 5 steps, so we're almost done. I'll stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you there. Thanks, guys.